Today I'm going to show you part one of how I built my paint caddy from Dollar Tree crates. Eventually this became my tower of power when I added the Dollar Tree pegboard cubicle, and I'll show you that later. But first, instead of taking it from the top, we're going to start at the bottom. I got this inexpensive Lazy Susan from Walmart, and when the weight of the paint caddy with all the paints in it was placed on it, even though it was bigger, it worked quite well. I purchased 8 of these Dollar Tree crates and painted 4 of them up in a color called Coal Black infusion mineral paint, and the other 4 I painted up in a color called Casement. But you know these weren't fancy enough for my studio, so enter in my flourish stamps. Now here's an unconventional method. I'm sure you've never seen it, or if you have, it would be rare. But I actually use my acrylic paint to create some pattern on these boxes with these flourish stamps. It does come off the stamp if you soak it in a little bit of Awesome from the Dollar Tree and warm water, and a soft brush scrubs the acrylic right off. Okay, now here we go. I'm just adding a little bit of the white paint on the stamp, and I carefully make sure that there's good coverage across the whole entire flourish. And then with white on black and black on white, I randomly add stamping. Now, you'll see here I'm just carefully placing it, pushing it down, and you will also see that it is not perfect, and that is fine because it's a shabby chic kind of vibe. I love it. Okay, here I'm deciding to configure the boxes with the black and the white pattern so that I can see where it is I should put the stamping. And you'll see me kind of fitting it all together like a puzzle. And now that I have it in the configuration the way I want it, I can see exactly where it needs to be stamped. You don't need a stamp in the areas where you won't see any stamping, right? And so I kind of haphazardly keep going with the white stamp on the black, and there's no rhyme or reason to this. I just put it where there was blank spots. And it doesn't even matter if the flourishes overlap because it looks really cool. It develops its own kind of pattern. And you don't have to worry whether or not the stamp comes out perfectly stamped, because all the highs and lows of the stamping process gives it that shabby chic look I was talking about. Okay, one last box to finish off, and then we can switch over to the black on white. Okay, now we're going to do it in reverse. We're going to do the black on the white. So I'm just going to take a little baby wipe and I'm going to clean up that stamp. And you can see that it's pretty easy at this point to still clean them up. It doesn't take much in the end either. Even if the paint dries on there, if you hit it with that Awesome from the Dollar Tree, it works really, really well. And you can see how I've got the stamps. Some of them are thicker and harder. It's okay. That's fine. It will look good in the end. Trust me. You have to trust the process. Okay, with the flourishes all nicely stamped, and don't they look pretty with the black and white? I'm going to take my E6000. Now, some people use B7000. I like, for industrial purposes, I like to use the E6000, and in the areas where there isn't any E6000, I like to use a little bit of hot glue just to hold it temporarily until the E6000 holds it permanently. And that stuff is wears like iron. And I'm putting them all together in the configuration here that is going to give me the black and white pattern. Stacking black on white and white on black. Once you get the 4 of them connected, then you do the sides. Same identical process. A little E6000, a little hot glue, and before you know it, your paint caddy is complete. Now it looks like I might have done a little bit of stamping on the top of that one box that was unnecessary. It's easy to do when you're in the process of it and you're live and you're talking to folks, but it was no big deal. It just got covered up with the other crate. So once you have them all complete and put together, look how cool that is. This will hold so much paint, you won't even believe it. It's amazing. Now, I had this other Fandangle contraption that I made that was all over Pinterest with the Dollar Tree napkin holders. It just doesn't work. They always fell out, and so I'm replacing one with the other, and I have had this for quite a while, and I absolutely love how it works for me. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how I made my Dollar Tree paint caddy, and I hope you'll give it a try. It's really fun, and you can customize it to any color you like for your craft room. And as a bonus, if you put a little skewer stick at the very edge, you can also hold some of your ribbon rolls in there. Now stay tuned for how I create my little power tower that I make with the pegboards from the Dollar Tree, and I add it to the top. It's amazing. Now here it is on that little Lazy Susan that you saw in the beginning of the video. It fits nicely on here, and the weight of it holds it on there with no issues at all. Thanks so much for watching. Please follow me also on YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, Etsy, and TikTok.